परमात्मा और आत्मा एक हो जाए, वो ही योग है. उसने क्या कहा, उसने क्या बोला, उसने वैसे क्या किया, and all of that, it's all over the place. Say mind is like a drunken monkey bitten by a scorpio, controlled by a ghost. That's how the mind is.
You know, the definition of yoga, first of all, like there are multiple versions of yoga, but let's just break down the word itself first of all, which is yoga.
Correct,
so
correct.
if you can,
Yeah, so that's a good question, in fact. And you know, when I take sessions at corporates and when I take sessions in other institutes, that's my first question to everyone. Okay, everyone, what is yoga? So, and then people are like, it's a form of exercise. And then people are like, it's about peace, and it's about standing on your head, doing inversions and all of that. So it's not wrong, but that is not the complete understanding. The basic, the very simple meaning of yoga, it comes from the word yuj, which means to unite. That's it. It means to unite. Now, what are you supposed to unite? So you are supposed to unite your body, your breath, your mind, your intellect, your memory, your ego to the self, which is your soul. And if I make it
Wow.
easy, it is
I
like...
love that. I don't think
Yeah.
I've heard that kind of definition.
I'll repeat it.
Yeah, please do.
So it is about connecting, you know, basically finding union between the body, breath, mind, intellect, memory, ego and self. And if I simply say it in one line, to just have a union between body, mind and soul.
Beautiful.
Some people also say that, you know, yoga is just a simple science of connecting your soul with the universal soul. Simple. परमात्मा और आत्मा एक हो जाए, वो ही योग है. And you know, अब इसमें किधर आया आसन, अभी इसमें किधर आया वर्कआउट, और you know, it is a way you can achieve that. But yeah, the main understanding of yoga is to unite. And now what is the need of uniting? Body is here, breath is here, soul is also somewhere here. But the mind is very naughty. So the mind goes to the past, to the future. It goes past to the future. उसने क्या कहा, उसने क्या बोला, उसने वैसे क्या किया, and all of that. It's all over the place. So, you know, in our scriptures they say mind is like a drunken monkey. पिया हुआ बंदर है. Mind is like a drunken monkey. After that it's bitten by a scorpio.
Oh
उसको
my God.
पहले तो वो पिया हुआ बंदर है माइंड, एंड देन उसको वृश्चिक ने और काट लिया है विद द पॉइजन एंड ऑल, एंड इट्स कंट्रोल्ड बाय अ घोस्ट. So that's how the nature of the mind is. It's controlled. That's why we call it the monkey mind, because it's a drunken monkey bitten by a scorpio, controlled by a ghost. That's how the mind is. So the whole science of yoga is to get the mind in the present moment and to stabilize it. That's as easy as yoga is. Just to control the chattering of the mind. That's it. They're very simple. Those are yoga. The definition of yoga as per Maharishi Patanjali is yoga chitta vritti nirodha tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. So he says yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is just controlling the fluctuations of the mind. That's it. So that what will happen if I control the fluctuations of my mind? Then I will be able to witness my real self. Then only I will be able to see the real self. If there are so many clouds in the sky, will I be able to see the stars? Or will I be able to see the infinite sky? No. Because there are so many clouds. I will just assume that I am maybe the cloud only. But yeah, yoga is simply that stopping that fluctuation and chattering of the mind. And in fact, I'll not use the word stop. I'll use the word control. Because it's very important that the mind chatters in the right direction. So it's
the
not
other way around. It's like
Yeah.
normally the mind controls you, but
Correct.
with this
Absolutely.
you control the mind.
Absolutely. Being the master of the mind and trying to control it, and so that we can connect to our real self. That's the definition of yoga. And now, if I say that yoga is maybe reaching at the hilltop, now there are many ways to reach there. You know, there are 100 ways that you can maybe reach the top of the mountain. So that's how the philosophy of yoga comes in, that you can become a yogi by bhakti. What Mirabai did. She was not doing handstands and she was not doing Kapalabhati. She was just absolutely devoted to Lord Krishna. That is what she did. So that was That is Bhakti Yoga. And then you know what APJ Abdul Kalam ji did? He was not into Bhakti, or he was not doing pranayamas. He was just absolutely dedicated to his work. And he was a karma yogi. So you can reach and you can get moksha or enlightened, and that's the objective of yoga, to get self-realized. And you can reach there by either bhakti or by either karma or either by gyan. You know, Swami Vivekanand ji was a holistic yogi, but yes, he was an avid reader, and he was so curious, and he was so knowledgeable, and that is the path of Gyan Yoga, where you acquire knowledge and you finish that avidya which is there in us since the day we are born. We
Wow.
have ignorance in us, and then the path of Hatha Yoga. Where Hatha Yoga, again, people think of Hatha Yoga as, Hatha Yoga, and Hatha Yoga is like forceful,
Yeah,
and
some
we will
tapasya
some
kind.
tapasya, I'll not stop. Whereas it simply is a combination of two words, ha and ta. Between ha means the sun and ta means the moon. So there is a lunar energy and there is a solar energy. There is a Ida Nadi and there's a Pingala Nadi. So there is a left brain, there's a right brain. And so is there a left nostril and a right nostril. So just to achieve that balance in the sun and moon aspect of an individual, that is Hatha Yoga, which is done with the help of Shata Karmas or detoxification practices, asanas, pranayamas, some mudras, hasta or kaya mudras, bandhas, and also meditation techniques. So this is the science of Hatha Yoga.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love the way you so simply explained it
Yeah.
for the audience, I think.
Yes, so
People complicate it,
yeah,
but I love the way because it's so relevant, for us in our practical life. But I also like the fact you said you make it fun.
Yeah.
And I'm now curious to know how do you, get that element into something which is perceived to be so serious.
yes. See, that is the work of the teacher, I feel, to make students get interested about this topic. If a student is more curious and he's more interested after your lecture, that means the teacher has done its job. So I feel whenever I teach, maybe if it's the asana part or if it's the theory part, for example, in asana part, today only we started the class with some laughter yoga.
Oh, yeah.
In the morning. So there are some music and some musical warm-ups that I add in my class, and it's very important, just to shake off the body before we start, and we sit and we do all things. The class has to have a dynamic vibe as well as a vibe of peace and equilibrium. So I just make sure that both the vibes are there. So I just make sure that my class is going on to its peak, where I'm all, kind of pushing them out of their comfort zone. Maybe it's through music, or sometimes I take dance, and sometimes through dynamic sukshma vyayams, sthula vyayams, surya namaskars, and then I usually take it towards a more peaceful, calmer, where we are holding asanas towards that part. But yeah, the fun aspect, basically, we add music to our classes. We add some yogic games in our classes. So
That
yeah.
I've never heard of.
Yeah, so yogic games, see, what is yoga? Like, to control the mind. So if the mind comes in the present moment, then yoga is happening there and then. The mind is in the present moment. There is no past ka thought. There is no future ka thought. Mind is not in the pendulum thing. You are just in the present moment. That is yoga in that moment. So yogic games are a very, very amazing way to inculcate the beauty of presence of mind and being aware and being in the moment.
Can you give me an example? Because I'm very curious. What is a yogic game? This is such a new term.
So chalo, let's play a game. Chalo. But yeah, for example, we have some games in which the simple games like 7-Up, and simple games like, there's a game in which we do Gandhiji, Nehruji, and Lalaji.
Oh,
okay. So for example, if we just play a quick game. So so this is Gandhiji because he
Okay.
was bald.
Yeah.
Do it like that. Gandhiji, and then this was Nehruji, and then this is Lalaji.
Okay.
Okay. So now I might, and so now you know this is Gandhiji, Nehruji, and Lalaji, but I might do anything else.
Yeah.
You have to look at me
Okay.
when I say Nehruji, so you have to do this, but I might do anything else.
Okay.
So you have to be correct with the Nehruji, Lalaji, and these things.
Okay. Confusing
Yeah,
the
so I'll
mind.
confuse a little bit, but let's see if you could.
Okay, sure.
Let's start.
Okay.
So Gandhiji, Nehruji, Lalaji. Gandhiji, Nehruji, Lalaji. Gandhiji, Lalaji. So yeah,
That is
simple
fun. Okay,
games,
yeah.
like, you know, it's like a
Just
brain
challenging,
gym. Yeah.
brain teasers.
Brain teasers, like a brain gym, or anything which gets you in the present moment. So, you know, when we take our people out in retreats or something, we play dodgeball, and then we play many sports, you know, which just get you in the present moment. So that is also a very modern way to get people in the present moment without giving them long lectures, and just instantly refreshes them, and then all are giggling and smiling and happy. And what else do we need?
I know, right?
Just happiness. That's what
we are
everyone needs from within. Just happiness. Pure sheer bliss. That's what everyone wants.